epilepsy warning, there's a lot of flashing lights and colors.
So if you played FNF mods for long enough, you probably know the concept of an FNF marathon song, where they're just FNF songs but they're very long. But what about the process of actually making one? Oh, I love working on Red Guy! Yeah, that's this video. So this is part 6 to making an FNF mod of way too many phases. If you're unfamiliar with this mod, it's called FNF Last Rap, and if you want, you can play the mod in the description, the full mod. Or you can just watch this video, that's fine. So yeah, the goal of this marathon song is to make it 12 minutes where Red Guy breaks the 4th wall. So a little bit of a recap of the first 5 parts. I first used Dempa Engine to make the first couple songs, and then I switched to JS Engine where I was making Disbelief, which is a 10-minute song, and then I switched to Psych Engine, which was the actual engine I used for the mod. During this era, I wasn't fully focused on, the marathon song that this video focuses on. So let's get to the composing process. I am in denial. So in the first few days, I made this. Now let me tell you, the composing process was a bit difficult, to say the least. You're probably wondering, but why? So basically, I was making other songs unrelated to the mod, basically for other projects. If I'm really proud of a song that I made, I had the decision whether I should put it in a separate mod, or put it in FNF Last Rap, aka the marathon song. And I decided, a lot of the time, that I put it in the marathon song, which kinda demotivated me. It's all good. Now you're probably wondering, demotivation from a 12-minute song? You're at the composing part. Development. Not only that, after I released part 1 or 2, I think there was already some suggestions to make a marathon song, which they had very high expectations. I didn't want to let them down. And so instead, I did some thinking, and now I'm making a 28-minute song. Yeah. For comparison, my longest song at the time was 25 minutes. Yeah, I've changed a lot. So yeah, I made a whole bunch of parts. There's the original FLP file, which has quite a lot of stuff, and it also stores all the other sections in the audio files, which wasted just a little bit of space. There's a whole bunch of FLPs, including scrapped sections. Of course, there's stuff like the finale part, which we'll get into later. So you're probably wondering how I made this song playable at all, even though it's 28 minutes. So the FNF song length limit is 25 minutes and 21 seconds, unless the engine, of course, changes that. And also I'm using Psych Engine, which doesn't modify the song length limit at all. So what did I do as a workaround? Did I modify the source code to change the song length limit? No, you're watching a boyf video, which means we are making a Psych Engine mod in a mod folder, in an older version. So what I did instead was I separated it into 2 songs, and I used a fake song length event script to make it seem 28 minutes. I also took away the time bar, so it doesn't like finish twice, basically. Also, whoever made this song length script, please, I want to credit you. So after I did the composing process, which took way too long, I can finally get to charting. Oh yeah, I'm also working on sprites, so I went straight to the intro. I made these sprites. That's pretty cool. I also drew girlfriend. I totally didn't trace the hair. Don't mind that. I also drew boyfriend. I totally didn't trace the hair. Don't mind that. Girlfriend also looks left and right. I could have used this more, but I used it. That's all that matters. I also made a couple backgrounds. The way I made them is I made a song called Testing, which I can use to test characters and backgrounds. With this, I can make one background at a time, which then I can port into the Jerry's background. You know what, this is taking way too long. Let's work on the other songs. Think of this as pre-Jerry, that's basically what this is. This song was created by Reverse, which is pretty cool. Bit of an epilepsy warning, I wasted a couple days to make this playable. I also made this song that comes right after Bloody, which is called Rasp. I also worked on a bonus song, which is Funeral, which is Dust Tail. It's also Disbelief, which is Disbelief Papyrus. And there's a Red Spam Challenge, which is inspired by Velma's Spam Challenge. I also added dialogue for all the songs, and yeah, let's go back to Jerry. Oh yeah, I made a FNF playable marathon song in 1 year and I called it Jerry. I called it Jerry. So the second section, not much to say about this part, it's basically just bloody but good. I guess I could explain how I made the 3D cube. So basically I went on Blender, deleted the cube, added the cube back in, then I animated it, then I rendered every single frame, and yeah, now we have the cube. Alright, so for too short didn't understand version, I have a sunlight, and then a white cube, ignore the fact that this red is actually white. I have a camera which is in front of the cube. I turn on this one to auto keyframe it, and I use a timeline to animate it. Oh my god, it's animated! Oh my— When I was beating this song on stream, we called him Jeffrey, which I thought was funny. And third section, I have nothing to say about this. This background's very high effort. Fourth section. So why did Red Guy kill So why did Red Guy kill the fictional— Ah! Oh, no, that's not it. Why did Red Guy wipe girlfriend from the face? Ah! No, that's not it. Unalive? Why did Red Guy unalive girlfriend? Ah, the fictional character! So boyfriend was taken to the color universe, and then he killed Blue Guy, which is Red Guy's brother. To people who don't like spam, I suggest you click off right now. Because, yeah, I added spam. Not too much, we're good. Alright, this part's a little boring, kinda just going through all the sections. Let's check out the final section. So, Red Guy and boyfriend in a different direction. Very cool. So have you ever heard of the 7 minutes of terror? It's a term used in Mars missions where the rover lands and it goes through 7 minutes of burning in atmosphere and parachute landing, and yeah. Ironically, this part's 7 minutes. So why did I bring up 7 minutes of terror? Can't you just spam and you're good to go? Well, let's talk about the mechanics. So there's 3 mechanics in Jerry. One is health drain, which drains your health every time the opponent hits a note. The second one is blue notes, which you cannot hit or else you lose a little bit of health. And the third mechanic are bloody notes. There is no way I just died to that. The one mechanic that caused me 3 months of pain when I tried to beat this song. And it's probably one of the big reasons on why this song is so hard to begin with. Not only is it the longest playable song I've ever made, but you also have to worry about not missing a single bloody note or you're dead instantly, because it's an insta-kill mechanic. Now there is some free parts, which makes it even worse, because it just makes things time consuming, and also, anticipation. We'll go back to the final section. Let's check out this Roblox section here, which totally aged well. So I went on Roblox Studio and made 2 separate games. One is the character and one is the background. The background is pretty easy to make because it's just adjusting the lighting to get it right, and we're good to go. The character, however, I had to add a green screen, and the character, which is Red Guy, then I had to use its animation editor and animate it. Whoa. Then I had to screenshot every single frame. I then put that in Adobe Animate, made it into a sprite sheet, and we're good to go. Alright, back to the final section. So there is a blue guy as a spirit, as a ghost. So then I added lyrics, because there was 500,000 suggestions to add lyrics.
It was you who killed my brother, and I promise you this, I will end you.
But how did I add lyrics? So I started by using a text-to-speech because I cannot sing, and this is what it sounds like. No, not that. This is what it sounds like. I used that same voice in the intro where I make him say bad word. Oh no! So how video cutscenes work. If it loads for the first time, it's gonna freeze the game. So instead, I went the sprite sheet route, where I made the entire lyrics into a sprite sheet. Oh yeah, Red Guy turns 3D. But how did I make a 3D sprite sheet? So I went on Paint 3D to model Red Guy, then I went on Blender to animate Red Guy, then I rendered every single frame, then I put that into Adobe Animate to make that into a sprite sheet, and here he is, in all of his glory. So yeah, now it's time for making even more. I stopped. The mod took so long, I thought it just wasn't worth it. 1 year of working is one thing because it's usually peaceful, but 1 year of having people wait for you to finish your work is a lot of stress because they don't want to disappoint. So I stopped. Oh no. What?
He's watching. Are you gonna give up now?
Never give up. So this charting process spans through the composing process and me finishing the sprites. That's very fun. I was spamming my way through charting every single section. I was thinking of patterns that flowed well and then ruin it because of the mechanics. Hey guys, it's nearly post-editing boyf because I forgot to mention this in the voiceover. I actually charted this song in 2 separate engines, Psych Engine and JS Engine. The reason I used JS Engine was so I could chart the spam parts. And yeah, so after a very long time of just doing this the whole time, I got to the final section. But wait, why is this 8 minutes? Wasn't the first half 12 minutes? Well, what if I told you there's actually 3 halves? There was a comment back in part 1 or 2 of the series that requested a 40-minute song, and I said there's no way I'm doing that. And that's exactly what I did. So why does it say 28 minutes here? What if I told you I had to rechart that entire section? Now that may not sound that bad, I could just rechart it, but I was stubborn enough to think, hey, this is a fun chart. So not only did I rechart it, but I added back every single note 1 to 1. Not only that, I had to go back to the chart to add the mechanics in every single section after I finished charting it. And so this took a very long time, but I did it. Let's go. After 1 year of just a little bit of pain, Jerry is finally complete. The 40-minute song with a lot of scrapped content, and one of that being, it was originally going to be about Red Guy breaking the 4th wall, but then I was like, hey, that doesn't make sense. He's mad at boyfriend, not you. And so I changed it to him being mad at boyfriend instead. And what was originally a small little devlog project of 6 parts became my biggest FNF mod to date. That didn't get cancelled, let's go. All it took was 1 year. So now that I finished FNF Last Rep, I added some finishing touches. I made this credit scene a cut scene, a reminder you only have 1 attempt to beat this song. So why do you only have 1 attempt to beat this song? Because if you don't do that in 1 attempt, you get taken back to Crimson. Although if you do beat the song from Jerry and not from the main week, I'd say that still counts. That's still legitimate completion because you still did beat the song. I also added an anti-bot play script, which now that I think about it, is kind of easy to remove. It is a funny thing to have though. So now, FNF Last Rap is done and you can play the mod, full mod, let's go. Look, even IGN loves this mod. Oh. Okay. I want to thank everyone who supported me through this whole thing, and everyone who's played the mod, everyone who's seen the mod, anyone who's watched the series, or at least the 1 part, anyone who made suggestions, Reavers, Whisper, and Sorbell, my friends, thank you. Words cannot express. Boys, what are you doing? Yeah, so after I finished the mod, I made this stupid decision where I was like, hey, what if I beat Jerry? And so I wasted 3 months of my life to beat the song, which was not a very good experience, I'll say that. So, it was so bad, in fact, I even started streaming it to keep my sanity even a tiny little bit. It actually helped a lot. Thank you to Joseph for the small screen strat, and thank you to Vin. And now that I finished the mod and beat the song, oh my God, I can finally relax. I can move on. Oh my God, I still gotta make part 6. So I started recording and then played the entirety of Jerry on 0.5 times playback. Alright, that's it for the series. It's officially over. I'm sorry for the very long wait. There was many attempts of this video, and they all got scrapped entirely. But I did it, let's go. Let's know the 3 rules. You never give up, believe in yourself, and nothing's impossible. Alright, that's it for today's video. If you guys want to see another video like this, be sure to custom my channel to this channel, turn on the main videos bell, trying to get 20k subs. And with that, the series is over. Have a good one. You're probably wondering why this video has not ended yet. That would have been a perfect ending, wouldn't it? Well, I forgot 2 things. 1, here's some fun boy facts. Fun boy facts. Did you know that red guy's skin color hex code is CC6666? I don't know why you'd need that information, but there you go. As for the second thing, the bike rides outro.